Welcome to Dance to Heal. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how dance and movement can bring healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that movement was vital to my recovery. I created Dance to Heal Wellness and also authored the best-selling book, Outside in Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new techniques to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now. I want you to, before we do anything else, take out a piece of paper. You can even do it on your phone, on your notes, okay? And in these particular categories, write down a list. You're going to number it. I want you to write down next to the number 1, physical. Number 2, emotional. Number 3, spiritual. And then number 4, write down mastery. All right, so 1 is physical, 2 is emotional, 3 is spiritual, and 4 is mastery. All right. I feel as if everyone understands how important it is to have some type of level of those 3 first things we talked about. Being aware of your physicality, what's going on with your body, emotional intelligence, emotional health, that gets bandied around a lot. And then there's also the whole spiritual thing, how important it is for it always be something bigger than you. I don't think I'm the first one to ask you to start looking at that. I think I am the first one or one of the few to ask you to look at number 4, the mastery between the 3. The adage, you can have it all. I'm going to duck when I say this. It's a lie. Did someone throw something at me? No, really, it's a lie. Like, I know. Real talk, right? We're not meant to have it all. Because then how do you appreciate it when you have it all? What is why? Why try if you don't have to make the effort to find balance between the 3? That's number 4, mastery. All right, because, like, I'm a mom. Before I became a mom, I never would have thought, ooh, what do you mean I'm going to put my physical last? And it becomes something really automatic. Once I got over my postpartum, no one talks about that either. But once I recovered or realized I was having postpartum depression, once I recovered from that and reconnected and started to really connect with my babies, my own physical needs went down the toilet. Even though the emotional aspect of it was being bolstered, even if I was the mom provider. Does that make sense? And then there were times when spiritually it was very important for me to connect in faith. So I want you right now under those 4 categories on a scale of 1, because you can't exact 0 means we're not here anymore. So sorry, you got to do 1 to 10. Here's a caveat, okay? 10 means you are beyond fulfilled. All right, so that's the caveat. 10 is you are beyond fulfilled. All right, 1 is you know what it is. You know it's important to look at it. It's not necessarily something you personally really think is important or is in your life. Okay? So, 1 to 10. Put a number next to all 4 of those right now. I'll give you a few moments. And while you're doing that, I'm going to attempt to give you a little bit of music. Zoom decided it's going to be very sad today. And I've been having some really interesting adventures with it. It is what it is. I'm fine. That's my mastery moment right there. I just want to share that with you. It's all good. What's been really interesting for me has I've figured out the mastery part of it is that it's rarely what we think it is. So just do your 1 to 10, all four. I forgot to remind you not to overthink it, okay? Just a quick 1 to 10. Yeah, good? All right, so here's the thing. I would like you to do a rearrangement of the four. I listed for you physical, emotional, spiritual mastery. Disregard the numbers you put next to it. Reorder it according to what's important to you. All right, so ignore everything I said about how mastery is important. If it's not important to you, it's not important to you. Rearrange those four things in the area of importance to you today. Not last year, not your future self, just today. What is that area of importance? Yeah, because some people, spiritual is more important. They're very faith driven and they need to have spiritual at, the highest number to help them filter down. Some of us, it's the balance of it. Some of us, it's if my emotions aren't being met, I can't give to my church, right? So what is that? All right, but here's the thing. Look at the correlation of the 1 to 10 with the area of importance to you. For example, if you were like saying, oh, spiritual is super important to me, is that number higher or lower than the numbers below? Right? Is it higher or lower? Is it lower usually? Or is it higher? Give me a 1 in the chat if it's lower than the numbers below it, and give me a 2 if it's higher than the numbers below it. So for example, let's say it's physical, okay, for me, and next is emotional and spiritual, in that order for me. And let's say my numbers were like, so for example, like the first one that you arrange on your list, that number, is it higher or lower than the numbers below it? If it's higher than the numbers below it, give me a 1. If it's lower than the numbers below it, give me a 2. Beautiful. All right. Now the second number, is it higher than the numbers below it or lower than the numbers below it? Again, 1 if it's higher than the numbers below it, 2 if it's lower than the numbers below it. Great. Last, a third one. Is it higher in the numbers below it or lower than the numbers below it? 1 or 2? And this isn't a trick question, I promise I won't trick you. It's more for you in terms of understanding for yourself what is your sweet life, because I could tell you what mine is. And the goal is for you to have a good direction of what yours is. Does that make sense? That's where I'm coming from in terms of this sweet life retreat. Okay? And if your numbers are not in sequential higher to lower, I'm going to ask you to take in your dominant hand to see, why aren't my numbers congruent to my order of importance? And then put your pen in your left hand and just let it scribble an answer. Don't overthink it. Does that make sense? So write in your right hand, why are my order of importance numbers that are in my life presently, why are they not reflecting that? And then put in your non-dominant hand and have it scribble it. question is an open-ended question. It's totally fine if you have difficulty reading it. It is just the non-thinking moment. Just let your hand answer that. Okay, I'll give you a few moments to do that. Beautiful. All right, wrap that up. You can always go back to this exercise later, right? So for me, I don't mind sharing. My first one is physical, the second one is emotional, my third one is spiritual, and my fourth one is mastery. And my spiritual was a lower number than my fourth, which is mastery, right? And so whatever is the lowest number of the four, all right? Physical, emotional, spiritual, mastery. I'm going to go back and look at our speakers because that's one of the first people you're going to go and listen to. I'm very practical, folks. Like, I'm not going to be like, I can't answer all your questions in 3 days and help you find an ultimate sweet life. We're going to start orienting your ship in that direction. That is the point of the 3 days. All right. I'm really honest here. Your subconscious, which is 90% of you sitting there watching me and my 90% and my 10%, your subconscious has already decided whether or not you're going to make any use of this time with us. It's been keeping you safe up to today. So it's going to be like, she's going to have to prove to me this is any use before we implement anything. It's just the way it is. I've worked with enough clients to learn this. And so I feel that when you're doing the conscious, right hand, left hand is literally having a conversation with your subconscious. All right. It's a direct gateway, similar to some people have vivid dreams. I used to dream. I don't dream now. I think it's because my subconscious kind of like got pissed with me. I'm not listening for a long time. So occasionally now I'll have dreams. Not so much before I started healing. All right. Oftentimes when you're sleeping, your subconscious is trying to make sense of your life. And some people will get more aware of the brain processing. And if we're in a lot of trauma or post-trauma, sometimes we just stop dreaming or remembering the dreams, if that makes sense. And there's a reason behind that. Thanks for listening to Dance to Heal with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of recovery through movement and learn more ways that you can move your body. To work with me and continue your journey, visit OutsideInRecovery.com. Are you ready to move?